Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Last night, the Astros pulled it out in the bottom of the ninth to even the series with the Reds. Today, Bud Norris takes the mound for the Astros with one of the best ERAs in the National League at home. Cincinnati starter Bronson Arroyo has been red hot since the All-Star break and has won his last 4 starts. So get the cotton candy ready. Astros go for the series win next on Fox Sports Houston. Sunday Baseball on Fox Sports Houston is presented by Hyundai. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, it's the series finale between the Houston Astros and the Cincinnati Reds. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshays. The Astros won a last at-bat thriller last night, and that squares the series. They can win a September series from a first-place club, JD.
That would be nice for the Astros to do that. They've got to go through a hot pitcher to do it. Bronson Arroyo, the veteran right-hander, works for the Reds. This afternoon, he's 11-7 this year, coming off a 5-1 month of August. You know about the struggles for Bud Norris. It's been a good long while since he's been in the winner's circle, despite some pretty solid starts, and he's been really good here at Minute Maid Park.
So coming up as these two teams decide who wins this set and the Astros get ready to travel, Justin Maxwell has revved it up again with an opposite field home run last night, and the Astros got a mat down stubble in the bottom of the 9th inning, and then a walk-off on Jose Altuve's grounder through the legs of Wilson Valdez. Game 3 of the series is next.
Brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. We're at Minute Maid Park, where the Astros will take on the Reds in the final game of this series. It is, in fact, a rubber game after the Astros took a victory last night thanks to an error at second base with the winning run at third. Season is now still in favor of the Reds by a large margin, 6-2, but the Astros did win the game last night. A little bit of a delay in getting this game underway with the special ceremony for Milo Hamilton. Something else that happened on this date, which of course is Milo Hamilton's 85th birthday. The day he was born, in fact, one of the big stories in the baseball news on September 2nd, 1927, was that Lou Gehrig was going to be traded to the Tigers. That obviously didn't happen. And now Milo Hamilton's birthday is remembered much more. The Astros are on the field, so as we celebrate his 85th birthday and just wish we had a piece of the cake, let's go upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Well, we see some snippets there of the ceremony, and Patty Smith interviewing Milo, his son Mark, just to the left there as you look at Milo and the big 85th birthday cake. He blows out the candles. He addressed the crowd, got everybody pumped up for baseball. And now it's Bud Norris's turn. He's going to work with 5 wins, 11 losses, and a 5.01 ERA. But at home, so much better. 2.09 his home ERA, second only to his teammate Lucas Harrell at 2.06 after Harrell pitched another strong game last night, JD.
Yeah, just amazing the difference between the home and road performance for so many of the Astros. But Bud looking to have another solid one here at home. Last time out against the Giants here, he was really good.
Here's the Hyundai Cincinnati Reds starting lineup for Dusty Baker's club, which has 81 wins to lead the National League. Zach Cozart is the leadoff man at shortstop. It's Drew Stubbs in center field. Brandon Phillips at second base. Jay Bruce in right field. Todd Frazier at third base. Xavier Paul in left field. Miguel Cairo at first base. Ryan Hannigan the catcher. Bronson Arroyo is the pitcher. Joey Votto still not back from his injury. He's expected to return for the Reds tomorrow night, while Bud Norris at home is 3-1 in 9 starts.
And that's the unfortunate thing, that he's only made 9 starts here at Minute Maid Park, just the way the schedule has broken for him. And his ERA on the road is 7.27. He's 2-10 away from Minute Maid Park, so a completely different guy, home and road. And one thing we'll be keeping an eye on tonight, or this afternoon rather, is the blister. That's why he came out of his last start. That blister problem that he's dealt with in the past reared its ugly head last time, in which he worked 6 2/3 innings, allowed 6 hits, just 1 run to the Giants. So hopefully they can keep that thing under control, and he can pitch another good one here this afternoon.
Zach Cozart gets it started. Norris's first pitch is strike one call with Rob Drake, the home plate umpire. Cozart sports 15 homers, 32 runs batted in, and a .247 batting average for Zach. He's 3 for 8 in this series. He hit a home run Friday night. This one goes to center field, and it backs up Brian Bogusevic. That's out number 1 for Norris.
The Reds defensively a very solid ball club, or the Astros rather. Not quite as solid as the Reds. There you see the principles. We had a night off last night, so I forgot that whole rule about the home team taking the field first.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
You're dressed for the road, so you're on the road.
I got it's the red uniforms. They kind of threw me for a loop. Astros they look like the Reds today.
Drew Stubbs at 221 has belted 14 long balls. He's driven in 39 runs. He looks at strike one. Stubbs is 1 for 5 in this weekend series. Drew has a .286 on base average. Hits this one to shortstop. On one bounce it goes to Tyler Green, who turns that into out number 2. The Reds are 5th in runs scored in the National League with 587. But the Astros held them to 1 run on 7 hits in last night's game.
Lucas Harrell getting it done yet again.
Sure did. Brandon Phillips was a focal point of the game last night. He was thrown out, as Greg mentioned. In the 8th inning, he struck out, and then the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher tossed him. And then he was not around for the bottom of the 9th when the Astros won the game on an error by his replacement, Wilson Valdez. 298, 15 homers, 71 runs batted in for Phillips. That's ball one upstairs. Phillips having another solid year. Had 3 hits Friday night. 3 for 9 with an RBI in this weekend series. Leads all Major League second basemen in runs batted in. And he leads National League second baseman in batting average. Getting out of that deep crouch. He gets it in the air, but it's popped up. Matt Dominguez at third base waits for it. That's a 1-2-3 first for Bud Norris. Bronson Arroyo coming up after the 6-pitch first inning for Norris. For the first, the Astros starting lineup is brought to you by Hyundai. It's Jose Altuve leading off at second base, Jimmy Paredes in right field, Brett Wallace at first, Jason Castro the catcher. Matt Dominguez bats fifth at third base. Fernando Martinez plays left field with Tyler Green at shortstop. Brian Bogusevic at center field. Bud Norris pitching.
Well, the veteran right-hander Bronson Arroyo toes the slab for the Cincinnati Ball Club here this afternoon. 4-5 with a 3.73 ERA. The first half ERA's actually gone up since the break, but he's had a lot more success in the win column. 7-2 through 9 second half starts for Arroyo. A guy who's going to give you the kitchen sink. Slider, curveball, changeup. He'll drop down, change that arm angle. One thing he won't do is challenge with a lot of fastballs.
He may even throw a wrench at you to work on that kitchen sink. There's a swerving breaking ball. Ball one to Altuve.
He basically uses his fastball as his change of pace. He'll give you a lot of slow stuff, slow your bat down, and then sneak a fastball by you from time to time.
Jose Altuve's average has dipped to 293. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He was not in the lineup last night, but came off the bench to play, and he hit the ground ball through Wilson Valdez's legs to give the Astros the win on the error. Little tapper goes back to Arroyo. That's out number 1 for Bronson.
Defensively for the Reds, it's Paul Stubbs, and the strong-armed right fielder is Jay Bruce. Infielder Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, Cairo over there at first, and Ryan Hannigan's behind the plate. Scott Rowland gets a day off, so Frazier, who handles both corners, moves to third, and it gives the veteran Cairo a chance to get a start.
Jimmy Paredes is 1 for 6 with an RBI in this series. This is his 6th straight start in right field since he was called up from Oklahoma City. He's hit 188. He's driven in 3. Got a new glove today. There's a strike to Paredes. And the Astros were taking a look at that glove he's been using to play the outfield, and they considered that to be not worthy of Major League glove standards, so they gave him a different one. Had some problems. There's a shot up the middle, slowed down by Arroyo, and that's a fine play by the shortstop Cozart. He showed some big time range to get Paredes for out number 2.
Yeah, this club pretty solid up the middle. Shortstop, second base combination of Cozart and Phillips can really get it done. Just a little deflection there off the glove of Arroyo to slow it down. Otherwise, it gets into center field for a knock for Paredes.
2 down, and it's Brett Wallace coming up next. Brett 1 for 7 in this series. Infield shifted around for him. He cracks one up the middle too. That one slowed down, but Kosar doesn't have to move for this one. And there's the stretch by Cairo on a 1-2-3 first. Both pitchers needing 6 pitches in the scoreless first inning.
Bring your dog down here to Minute Maid Park for Astros Dog Day. On Sunday, September 16th, as the Astros host the Phillies. Ticket packages include fun pregame festivities for you and your dog, including the on-field pooch parade and costume contest. Root now and buy tickets at astros.com/dogday. That is always a fun one, guys.
Oh, yeah. Special day, Sunday, September 16th. Just a couple of weeks from today, Jay Bruce of Beaumont, Texas, leads it off here in the second inning. He's third in the league in homers with 28. He has 84 runs batted in. Oh, they are cute and well dressed for this game. There's strike one to Jay Bruce, a .257 hitter. And the power numbers are certainly there for Jay. It's 1-1. Aren't they adorable?
Got the gear on.
Boy, it's a good looking family. Jay hits one in the air to right field. Paredes back and right there in front of the wall. He's playing very deep in right, and the ballpark held that one for Bud Norris. 1 out.
And Bud looking for some confirmation from Castro. I got in there, didn't I? Didn't we jam him? And he did. And that just speaks to the strength of Jay Bruce. He didn't really square this one up, but he almost got it out of here for a home run. Strong as an ox, that guy.
He is strong.
Right there in front of a Bruce fan club, it looked like. Right there, too. They had the shirts painted.
Todd Frazier playing third base today. Looks at ball one.
And Bud looks at his hand. So obviously that blister is already an issue. Kind of like a fighter who gets a cut early in a match or in a above the eye. You got to take care of it in between innings. Got to get him through as many as possible, as many rounds as he can go.
1 ball, 1 strike. There's been talk of the Astros going to a 6-man rotation, but before the game, that was not prominently mentioned by Tony DeFrancesco. He said we're going to stay with 5 for now. We've talked about it. 1 and 2 to Frazier. Frazier's on a 5-game hitting streak.
There's an off day coming up in Cincinnati on Thursday, so it allows everybody an extra day.
Frazier could be Rookie of the Month for August. We just voted on that before the game. He had a very strong month, and this time he strikes out. 2 down for Bud Norris. That's his first K.
Good slider there from Bud. Had that working against the Giants last time out, a game in which he punched out 7. Yeah, I voted for Frazier Brownie. He got my vote for Rookie of the Month.
Got mine. Xavier Paul comes up next. The left fielder with a .298 average, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Ryan Ludwig getting a rest today. And Ludwig has been one of the big mashers in this Reds lineup for a while now. There's a sharp hit through the right side. Past a diving Altuve. Xavier Paul on, and he's the first base runner in this game. He's aboard for Miguel Cairo.
So far, most of these hitters have gone up there hacking. There've been a lot of deep counts in this game.
Cairo at 169 with a homer has 12 runs batted in. Cairo came up late in the game and delivered a pinch RBI single in the 8th inning Friday night. Paul drawing a throw. He's 3 for 4 in steals. And with Cairo's 169 batting average, 262 slugging percentage, Dusty Baker might want to try to force something here. That's ball 1. Reds go back home. They are 4-1 on this road trip. They swept the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they have gone 34-15 since the All-Star break. The .694 winning percentage. That is the best in the majors. They have an 8.5 game lead on the Cardinals. Norris misses there. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Tomorrow's starter in Pittsburgh, and it's a day game for the Astros, has not yet been announced. Tony DeFrancesco was asked about it during his media session before the game. He said, well, we can't say anything yet, but he's on his way here. Jeff Locke, a left-hander, will start for the Pirates. He was a September call-up last season for them, but he's been in the minors all year so far this year.
Did Tony say if tomorrow's pitcher was coming in perhaps a rocket mobile?
No.
Oh, okay.
He did. But you're making things interesting here.
If we don't know what it is, we might as well have a little fun.
Okay. Hadn't even thought of that angle.
It's not the rocket. He's scheduled to pitch for the Skeeters on the 7th.
Runner goes. And here's the throw from Castro. It's a beauty, but it's not caught. Altuve was trying to be really quick, and he didn't catch the ball before trying that swipe tag, so Paul gets a stolen base.
Well, whether he needed to be that quick or not, hard to say. You'll see the break here by Paul. Good strong throw from Castro, and he just clanked it.
Yeah, sure did.
Just didn't handle the throw. Ball kind of jammed him a little bit. Maybe a little bit late getting there, but you know, as a middle infielder, you try to hold your position as long as possible in case the ball's put in play. He was there in pretty good shape, just didn't catch it.
Well, technically that could be an error, but it's not, at least not so far.
Yeah, because I think it's very difficult for the official scorer to determine the outcome of the play if he catches it. You know, unless you know for sure that guy would have been out.
Right.
They tend to rule that a stolen base.
Yep. So that's number 4 for Paul. And the count 3-1 here on Cairo with Ryan Hannigan on deck. Slider's fouled, and it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Norris has not beaten the Reds in his career. He is 0-2 with a 5.61 ERA and 5 career starts against them, but pitched very well here against Homer Bailey. July 25th, got a no decision, went 7 innings, allowing 5 hits and 1 run. The Astros trailed 1-0 when he came out, and they later lost it 5-3, but he was not involved in that decision. Those are his career numbers. That's popped up on an up and in location and out of play for Cairo.
Yeah, if you were basing your outlook on this game on the performances of the pitchers against the opposition, you would really have to favor Bronson Arroyo, who the Astros beat last time they saw him, but that snapped a run in which he had gone 8-0 against them with an ERA below 2. It's hard to draw anything from that because so many of the players have changed anyway.
They really have.
From what Arroyo has seen. 10-2 Bronson Arroyo against the Astros since 2008.
Another foul ball out of play. Well, the Astros with that strong game last night from Lucas Harrell also got good relief work, airtight work from Hector Ambrose, Xavier Cedeno, and Wilton Lopez. Lopez got the win. That was their third walk-off win of the season, their seventh win, and their final at bat. That's wrapped on a line to left field and caught. Martinez over for out number 3. No runs, a hit, and a man left. No score. Forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Watch from the Budweiser patio, and it is no score. Bottom of the second inning coming up. Milo Hamilton celebrating his 85th birthday. Born in 1927. Adolph Rupp in 1901. Billy Preston, Terry Bradshaw, Keanu Reeves.
Gonna fly high like a bird up in the sky. Today's Milo's birthday. I didn't realize that.
You didn't know that?
Oh.
Well,
seems like they would have done something about that.
Well, they will when you get to bite into that cake. Then you'll acknowledge it.
It's Rex Hudler's birthday, too, the Wonder Dog.
Jason Castro looks at ball one. How old is the Wonder Dog?
52. Rick Manning.
Castro's hit in 7 straight starts now. 2 for 4 in this series. Off-speed pitch, hammered to right center field. Stubbs back, though. 1 out. Stubbs really graceful in center field. Very good defensive player.
Astros had a lot of good swings lately.
Yes. Yeah, he's been hitting cleanup, and that's going well. Matt Dominguez is 1 for 7 with a homer in this series. Matt unloaded a long ball as the Astros hit back-to-back homers Friday night in the 4th inning of Mike Leake. There's strike 1 to Matt. Came from the Miami Marlins in the trade for Carlos Lee.
Bronson Arroyo might be the most fun guy to watch pitch in the National League.
He is. Yeah, he just is never dull with the variety of stuff, different arm angles, that high kick.
It's just, you know, so it's all this salad that he's flipping up there, but he's, you know, very effective with it. He really knows how to pitch.
He's got dressing on it.
It's fun to watch a guy like Strasburg or somebody like that who could throw 98 miles an hour and dominate hitters, but it's as much fun to watch a guy like Arroyo who obviously cannot do that and has to figure out a way to trick you.
Well, he certainly does it very well. That's his first strikeout. That's 5 in a row for him.
There's a little lower arm angle, that Laredo breaking ball.
Bronson was born in Key West, Florida. 35 years old. Drafted by the Pirates in '95. Fernando Martinez hit the long ball right before Dominguez unloaded Friday night. There's strike one to Fernando. So he has displayed his power as an Astro. 3 homers, 7 runs batted in with a 191 average. He's 2 for 6 in this series. It's 1-1. Arroyo has found left-handers to be more challenging. 291 batting average for left-handed hitters against him compared to right-handers 237. And I could guess, perhaps, JD, you may disagree with this, but the arm angles against a right-handed hitter, that's got to make it tougher than if you're a left-handed batter against this guy.
Yeah, well, that basically takes that weapon away from him. You wouldn't drop down against a left-handed hitter, although he did right there. I mean, you wouldn't do it normally, and it wouldn't have the same effect against a lefty other than changing the look a little bit. But a right-handed hitter, when a pitcher drops down, a righty drops down, the front side might wobble a little bit.
He's won 123 games. There's a liner snared by Cozart. Well hit ball by Martinez, but it's 6 straight retired by Arroyo, and no score after 2.
Down here to Minute Maid Park on Friday, September 14th, before the 7:05 game as the Astros take on the Phillies. 10,000 fans will receive commemorative Houston Astros fleece blanket presented by the Methodist Hospital System. Gates open at 5:30, so route now and buy tickets at Astros.com. Bill?
Get ready for winter, Patty, with those fleece blankets. Everybody will be all wrapped up leaving the ballpark.
Temperatures dipping into the high 80s.
Strike to Ryan Hannigan. 289, 2 homers, 19 runs batted in for Hannigan. Very good defensive player. He has more walks than strikeouts this year. It's 1-1 to Hannigan. Hannigan just turned 32. He's from Washington, D.C. Went to Rollins College.
That's in Florida.
Yes, it is. In the hole, Tyler Green has time. Makes a good play. 1 out.
Played good baseball down there. Rollins and Eckert. St. Leo had a good program for a number of years.
Didn't know about St. Leo.
Sunshine Conference or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Leo. Bob Tewksbury, I think, went to St. Leo. Jimmy Corsi.
Ooh.
That's a long time ago. These are old people. These are people my age.
You're not old, JD.
Not compared to Milo, but.
What are you, 52?
Mm-hmm.
It's not old. Bronson Arroyo leads the National League since '06 in starts and innings pitched. As a hitter, well, he puts this one in the air, and Bogusevic and Martinez are there. Bogey has it. 2 outs. Actually, he's hit pretty well this year. 8 hits, including a homer and a double, but 2 outs for Norris, and it's Cozart coming up. Cozart's an interesting player. Reds are pretty well pleased with what they have from this rookie shortstop. Defensively, and the offensive numbers are hard to question, really.
Yeah, a little miscast at the top of the order because he hardly ever walks. So he doesn't have a high on base percentage, but you got to love the power numbers. Got a rookie shortstop that's knocked 15 out of the ballpark. That's pretty darn good.
Yes.
Just a .288 on base percentage. That's been an issue for them. The top of the order, they really haven't had that high on base guy. Stubbs doesn't fit the bill either. He's got the speed you like to have at the top of the order.
Two-0 to Cozart. And Bud Norris falls behind him. 3 balls, no strikes now.
Don't give up on that one. There you go. Just because they didn't call it one time doesn't mean they won't call it the next.
Bud's been trying to snap this career-long losing streak. It's at 10 games now. And he has a 2-out walk here, putting Cozart aboard with his first walk of the day. Bud has not won since May 21st here against the Cubs. Not that he hasn't pitched well in that span of time. He's had some no decisions and some losses with lack of run support.
How many starts is it now?
Let's see. We're going to check.
Because what Anthony Young had 26, I think, something like that. Starts without a win.
15. Yeah, and then Chris Volstad took a run at that, didn't he? But then he finally has won a couple of games.
He's won 2 in a row.
Yeah. Now, Stubbs is one of those guys, and you mentioned the on base average .286. He's got power, he's got speed, but 37 walks, 138 strikeouts. The strikeouts have been the issue that a lot of people talk about regarding Drew Stubbs. And Drew's 27 years old now. This is his 3rd full season in the big leagues. First round pick in '06 by the Reds. It's 1-1 to Drew Stubbs from Texarkana, Texas.
So with that profile, he doesn't really fit as your leadoff guy, not necessarily a middle of the order hitter, but still, the skill set of speed and power, no matter where you put him in the order, he's still an attribute to your lineup.
Yes. Fly ball inside the right field line. Paredes is playing so deep he can't get there. Here's Altuve over into foul territory for round number 3. No runs, no hits, a man stranded, no score.
answer history. It was in 1971 that Cesar Cedeno looped a pitch off Claude Osteen about 200 feet. It was an inside the park grand slam as Bill Buckner and Jim LeFevre collided while trying to catch the ball. It trickled into the corner. The Astros beat the Dodgers 9-3. Also on this date in '86, current first base coach for the Reds, Billy Hatcher, hit a home run off Greg Maddux in the top of the 18th for an 8-7 win at Wrigley Field. And more importantly, in 1902, this is the first game that Johnny Evers played with Tinker and Chance. He replaced Bobby Lowe, who broke his leg.
Tyler Green leads it off, no score, bottom of the third. Bronson Arroyo delivers, and he will do that quite often with his fastball. That one registered at 86, 223, 8 homers, 25 runs batted in for Green. He'll throw it just in that tantalizing spot, but not in the strike zone. So if the hitters start chasing that, it could be a long day for them, or a short day, as the case might be.
He's got a good breaking ball today, and that's a pitch that's created some issues for Tyler Green. We see him pull off that breaking ball a lot.
Bounces this one slowly out to Brandon Phillips, bare-handing, and he gets it.
I can play a little bit.
He really is a good second baseman. Won his third Gold Glove last year.
So he makes that little adjustment to create the angle to make the bare hand play and then flip it across his body to first base.
Very calm as he approached that one to get that body angle right. Now it's Bogusevic. And he takes strike one. At 209, Brian has 6 homers. He's driven in 24 runs. 0 for 2 in this series.
On this date in '87, Kevin Bass went 4 for 4, had home runs from both sides of the plate in a 10-1 Astros win over the Cubs, and he became the first National Leaguer to homer from both sides of the plate twice in one season.
A Doug Mansolino jersey. Either that guy's name is Mansolino.
What are the chances? He wasn't even an Astro fan until Manso came here and he said, "Hey." And look at, and there's a guy named Altuve. This is amazing. What a coincidence.
Well, Greg was talking about that Billy Hatcher extra inning home run. He hit another one, of course, that everybody remembers against the Mets in the playoffs. Hatch here today, and Milo went over to him and greeted him before the big ceremony on the field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Introduced him to the crowd, as well as Dusty Baker. Milo and Dusty go way back to Atlanta Braves days. It's 2-2. Astros snapped their 6-game losing streak last night, and now a shot at winning a series, and the Reds haven't lost many since the All-Star break. They've won 10 series. They've lost 2 and split 2. Arroyo cuts it in on him, and it's 3-2. The Reds, without Joey Votto, are 31-15 since he went down with a knee injury. They had a 1-game lead in the NL Central when Votto went down. Now it's 8.5.
Yeah. Walt Jocketty, the GM of the Reds, signed Votto to that long, massive multi-year contract. Now realizing, hey, we're fine without that guy.
Why do we do this?
Good concentration.
Oh. Got his own cheering section right there. Bogusevic, you see with Arroyo an awful lot of movement, JD. It's just, and that's what I think you were referring to. It's just so much fun to watch this guy because of the different angles and the different movement that he can create.
And the unpredictability, any pitch in any count, a factor, certainly an advantage to him. The ability to command his secondary pitches as well as he does, and then to surprise you with the fastball. And that one clocked at 88. You've seen him at 89. just a great lesson for a young pitcher. You know, sometimes pitchers get consumed with the notion of throwing the ball 95 miles an hour and throwing it by hitters. But if you've got command of your secondary pitches and you've got an idea how to execute out there, you can survive, and in his case thrive in this league with stuff that's below average. At least a fastball that's below average.
This is his 10th pitch to Bogey, and it's hit high to right field. It's hooking, and it's a foul ball.
Wow. A bid for home run number 7 right there for Bogusevic.
Did he hammer that?
Frankly, something I thought we'd see a fair bit more of this year. Earlier in the year, I was pretty bullish on Bogey because you see him put swings like this on a ball every now and then. And you think, wow, he's a strong kid, very athletic. Just hasn't been able to put it all together here.
Bryant's had 326 at bats this year. Bud Norris on deck.
So that slow hook, try to backdoor it.
Good battle here. And so that becomes one of the objectives. Make Arroyo throw a lot of pitches. He's walked only 28 in 166 in a third inning.
And sometimes in a case like this, he'll just throw basically a dead fish fastball. You know, you're not necessarily going to use his changeup grip. He's just going to throw a fastball about 82. He'll take something off of it and just try to get you out in front a little bit.
Liner left field corner, and Bogey wins the battle, hitting one off the base of the wall for a double. Well, that's an outstanding job after narrowly missing a home run up the right field line. He shoots one the other way for his 9th double.
Yeah, fans appreciative of the effort, realizing the length of the battle, and that Bogey ultimately won it. He came back with a fastball, 2-seamer at 88 going away, and the big swing on the cutter in probably convinced Arroyo to try to stay away from Bogusevic, and he was right on it.
And in scoring position for Bud Norris now with his 9th double. Norris has 5 hits and 41 at bats, a 122 average. He has 3 runs batted in. Altuve on deck. So the Astros get 2 shots at getting Bogusevic home. He takes off for third. Here's a throw from Hannigan. It's waiting, and he is out. Oh, Hannigan with a big time laser throw to third base for out number 2. How big is that play?
Now, I like the try. Maybe a little bigger lead. I think he felt like he had the element of surprise working for him, but Hannigan made a perfect throw, stepping behind Bud and putting it right on the bag.
The pitch was strike 1 to Bud. Now it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bogusevic was 13 for 16 in steals. Hannigan had thrown out 40% coming into this game. That was quite a throw. Popped up out of play.
Just with 1 out in the inning, that's the time you're going to think about trying to steal third base. You got the pitcher up there, so you would force the Reds into an infield in situation if you're successful. Having a hard time scoring runs. It didn't work out, but I like the thinking behind the play.
It's 2-2. Boods has been keeping the pitch patterns of Bronson Arroyo to Bogusevic. It was curve, slider, fastball, fastball, curve, slider, fastball, fastball, curve, slider, curve, fastball. Roll to second. Phillips gets Norris. It is no runs, a hit, nobody left after 3, no score. There's no score here after 3. We look at AT&T trivia coming your way now from Minute Maid Park. Final game of the homestand, and let's see what we have today. Ryan Hannigan has more walks than strikeouts this season. Who was the last Reds player to achieve this?
More walks than strikeouts.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask some leading questions here.
Okay.
Did this happen within the last 10 years? Yes, it did.
It did. Votto didn't do that, did he?
I don't know. He would be a candidate.
He's a candidate. No.
He walks a lot.
More walks than strikeouts. The #1 Bud Norris girl there watching as Bud goes to work in the 4th inning with Phillips, Bruce, and Frazier coming up. Okay, it's happened within the last 5 years, we're told.
Is it a current Red? It's 2 down. Let's go to Orson Bean. That was a negative. You got a negative on that one from the truck.
Pull one to Phillips. Orson Bean. Phillips popped up on the first pitch back in the 1st inning.
People are at home going, what's he talking about? Who's Orson Bean? Google it. Look it up.
Tyler Green. I'm just trying to remember what shows he was on. I remember him on that show, but I don't remember anything else he did.
What's my line or whatever it was?
It was just on. The squares. All right. Ryan Hannigan, more walks than strikeouts. Who was the last Reds player to do it? Was it Herm Winningham? No. It was Jeff Keppinger.
Jeff Keppinger. I remember him. Keppinger's having a nice year with Tampa.
He sure is. Infield shifts around for Jay Bruce, who hit a warning track fly ball to right his first time up. There's strike 1 to Bruce.
Fastball for Bud's been sitting right around 89 miles an hour this afternoon. A couple of notches below average for him. Typically he's 90, 92 and up around 94 on occasion. I don't know if it's a function of the blister or not, but clearly doesn't have his best fastball in terms of velocity here today. But with that good slider, and if his changeup's effective, he can compete.
Bruce foul back a changeup, and it's 1-2. And typically, JD, did you have blister problems when you pitched?
Never did.
Okay. But then we would assume once you get past 80 pitches, you're feeling it a whole lot more. Just to pick out a number at random. It's still a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Jay Bruce, who hit 32 bombs last season. That was his major league high. Has a pretty good shot at eclipsing that this year.
And one of the things they'll do is back off the throwing in between starts, cover it while you throw. In your side sessions, put a little tape over that and try to protect it as much as you can, so it's not as tender when you make your start.
2-2 to Bruce. Tony DeFrancesco very happy to get that win in whatever fashion it came last night. Now leads his club out on the road. 3 in Pittsburgh, 3 in Cincinnati. And a strikeout for Bruce. That's number 2 for Bud Norris. He threw that pitch upstairs. Bruce tried to go get it.
It's actually a slider that got away from him a little bit. He was trying to throw it down and in, and it just backed up, stayed out over the plate. And that's a pitch you get a lot of swings and misses on. It's kind of an unintentional good pitch, if there is such a thing.
Todd Frazier coming up. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Strike to Frazier. Among rookies in the National League in the Triple Crown categories, he's 3rd in hitting, 2nd in homers, and 1st in runs batted in. He also leads in slugging percentage. .545 slugging percentage for Frazier. He has really helped this club in the absence of Votto.
Yeah, and I think that's what may be the thing that really puts him over the top in a lot of the voters' minds for Rookie of the Year. Not only is he putting up the numbers, but he's been such an important piece because of the injury to Votto and previously the injury to Roland.
True. Now, Ryan Ludwig and Todd Frazier have been the 2 best hitters in terms of production since Votto went down. It's 2-2, and now when Votto comes back, presumably as early as tomorrow night, Dusty Baker's got to juggle things with Frazier. He can play 1st and 3rd. Wants to keep Scott Rowland, of course, in the mix at 3rd base. Wants to play Votto a lot at 1st base.
It will be interesting to see how this plays out for the Reds through September and then into the postseason. And barring a collapse, they will be in the postseason. I mean, Roland's the veteran guy and the great glove man, but it'd be hard not to have Frazier in your lineup.
Very hard. Wouldn't you try to play him 4 days a week if you were Dusty, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking postseason.
Right.
You know, who's your guy?
Ooh, boy. Struck him out. That's number 3 for Norris. He plows through the Reds 3, 4, 5 hitters in the 4th to keep the game scoreless.
Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money. Sleep happy. I wonder if Roy Bender sold that steak to the ballpark. Roy Bender is the character that Orson Bean played in the Desperate Housewives series for 3 years.
Orson Bean was in Desperate Housewives?
Yes, you only remember him for his quiz show days.
I do remember, and I never really watched that show, but I remember seeing previews.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's lived on past his quiz show days. He's done a lot of acting, actually.
Strike 1 to Jose Altuve. He grounded back to Arroyo first time. It's 1-1. Patient is one word to describe a hitter as far as the approach that might work against Arroyo. The Astros don't have a lot of patient hitters. Doesn't mean they can't be successful. He might make a mistake. It's 2 balls and a strike. But if they start expanding that strike zone, that could be a heyday for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just got to make sure you swing at good pitches. He's played to his strength if you are willing to go outside of the zone. I mean, that's the case with any pitcher.
There's the play at first by Cairo, tossing to Arroyo to get Altuve. Good play by Cairo.
He throws his fastball, Arroyo does, about 35% of the time. I don't know that there's another pitcher in the league that's not a knuckleballer that throws fewer fastballs as a percentage. Nice play here, Cairo.
Watch Joe West.
Working around Joe.
Right around Joe West.
How about you, partner?
That's one down, and it's Jimmy Paredes. Grounded out up the middle. Bunting and fouling it. And it's strike 1. When the Astros broke that Arroyo winning streak against them earlier this year, it was here with Jordan Lyles opposing him. They beat him 5-3, and he gave up 5 runs in 6 1/3 innings, including a 2-run pinch hit homer by Justin Maxwell. That's in the air, and on the right side, it's Brandon Phillips moving in. 2 down. And now Brett Wallace. Wallace was 2 for 3 the last time he squared off with the Royal.
So when you look at the numbers, it's Brian Bogasevic has seen about 1/4 of the pitches made by Arroyo here today. Bogey had that lengthy at bat, in which he ultimately doubled everybody else. It's been over with fairly quickly.
Arroyo has won each of his last 4 starts, 4-0 with a 2.86 ERA. Johnny Cueto has the winning streak of the season for the Reds of 5. And he figures to be their #1 starter in postseason play.
Well, that's the other tough decision Dusty's going to have. After Cueto and Latos, where does he go for his next starting pitcher?
Homer Bailey was terrific again last night.
Bailey, I think stuff-wise, of the remaining starters, has the best chance of pitching a dominant game. But Arroyo's the veteran who is not going to panic out there.
That comes in for a strike to Wallace, and it's 2-1. Bailey has been magnificent in this ballpark in his career, not far from his home, LaGrange, Texas. That's a strike, making it 2-2. Homer Bailey at Great American Ballpark this year is 3-7 with a 5.58 ERA. Matt Latos is 6-3 with a 3.63.
That may be what drives Dusty's decision too, as to whether they're home or road and who the opposition is.
Yes.
As opposed to just straight up, here's my first guy, here's my second. I mean, Cueto clearly is going to be the first guy out, and I assume Latos would be the second.
And that would be on the road the way the situation stacks up as of right now. Certainly could change. Ground ball to short. Cozart goes out Wallace. And through 4, the Astros have 1 hit. The Reds also have 1. It is scoreless.
After today's game, the Astros go on a 6-game road trip where they will start in Pittsburgh. Haven't had a whole lot of luck at PNC Park this year. They're just 1-6 there, just 2-9 against Pittsburgh in total. But they've been competitive. 5 of the 11 games between these two teams so far have been decided by 1 run, with the Pirates winning 4 of those 5. Astros have not named a starter for this game yet. This was to be Dallas Keuchel's spot in the rotation, so they got to make a decision on that. Whoever it is will face a young Pittsburgh pitcher with a lot of promise, a guy they like a lot, kid named Jeff Locke. 12:35 game. Astros live coverage starts at noon. That's your Mazda game break. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Bart. No score here. Each club with only 1 hit. Xavier Paul has the hit for the Reds. He leads it off here in the 5th inning. He also stole a base in that 2nd inning after his single to right field. Infield shifted around for Paul, and he looks at ball 1. That's the way they stack up against him. Baltimore leads the Yankees 5-3 after getting 4 in the top of the 6th. It's 2-0. Mark Reynolds has hit a pair of home runs, giving him 16. That is Randy Wolf's debut with the Orioles at Yankee Stadium. Going pretty well so far for Randy. Baltimore's making that a race. They would be 2 games back if they win over the Yankees today.
Had a chance to climb within a game, but the Yankees scored 3 late yesterday and ended up beating Baltimore, so they've split the first 2 games of that series.
You know, this could be the first time since the wild card came into play in 1995 that the playoff field, which is expanded this year, could include more teams in the bottom 5 payroll than the top 5. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So far every year at least 2 of the top 5 payroll teams have been in every 8-team playoff field. There you see the Yankees, who are in that top 5. They are number 1 in payroll. They lead Baltimore by 3 and Tampa Bay by 4.5. Boston is 2nd in payroll. Philadelphia 3rd. The Angels 4th. Detroit 5th.
So the top 3 teams in the wild card race in the American League, Oakland, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay, would certainly not be in that top tier in terms of payroll.
Oakland has the major league low $55 million payroll. Pittsburgh's in the bottom 5 as well as Oakland. Both those clubs have a shot. It'll be a pretty interesting September to see if some of these have-nots can hang on and wedge their way into the playoff race. Swing and a miss. And he struck him out on a pitch down and in.
Well, pitchers really dominating this game this afternoon. Norris been able to deal with those blister problems and dominate this Reds lineup to this point. Good swing and a miss there on the slider. And you take a look at the American League wild card. There's Oakland having a magical year. Baltimore. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy September. The scenarios, and if you end up with 3 teams tied, that's going to be difficult to get that all squared away.
Very much so. Bouncer, and Tyler Green sucks it up to his left. Throws out Cairo.
Nope.
Whoa!
Pulled him off the bag.
He sure did. Looked like he had him when the throw left his hand, but Cairo is safe. Ruled an error on Green, his 7th of the year.
Had that throw sail on him a little bit, and Wallace trying to stretch out for it, could not maintain contact with the bag.
Nope. Good call by Joe West. Cairo reaching on the error. He almost got that toe back on, but not quite. Now Ryan Hannigan. He's a double play threat. He grounded out his first time up. Hits this one in the air, and Paredes comes in right. Catching that one for out number 2, bringing up Arroyo. You know, the Oakland A's in recent weeks have changed catchers, first baseman, second baseman, shortstops, third baseman. They are 26th in on-base average in Major League Baseball. They're 4th in walks. They're just not hitting. So it's kind of a Moneyball approach, but it's not working because they're not hitting. It's great to take walks, but how many of those can you get in a game and win? It's ball 1 to Arroyo.
Do they hit home runs?
I'm not sure where they rank in that. I think they do, because Josh Reddick is having a good year. We'll check on where they are in the team standings. Seems like they might be okay in home runs.
Yeah, that's what, the sabermetrics. There seems to be more emphasis lately on weighted on base percentage, and that factors in extra base hits. Oakland's 7th in the American League in home runs hit with 153, 7th in a 14-team league, playing in a tough home run ballpark. So you have to consider them a little above average in the power department.
237 team batting average for Oakland. But the pitching has been very solid. 2nd best ERA in the league. And that's surprising because they traded top pitchers over the winter. off. The mask comes on Castro, and it's 2-2, and he's had a few off that cage in this ball game.
Good for one a day. Getting his mask ripped off.
Brandon McCarthy has had a very good year for Oakland. He could be a free agent at the end of this season, but everybody else figures to come back off that pitching staff. They traded their closer, Andrew Bailey, over the winter. Traded Gio Gonzalez.
Cahill to the A's. Right?
Cahill's another one, yeah. Very interesting year for Oakland.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a club that we're going to see a whole lot of going forward, and most Astro fans, including this one, doesn't know a whole lot about that club. There's a breakdown on pitches per inning for Bud. He's in good shape.
We'll have some studying to do, JD.
Oh my goodness.
Swing and a miss. Arroyo strikes out. That's number 5 for Norris. He keeps the game scoreless through 4.5.
Gala saluting Hall of Fame broadcaster Milo Hamilton. Join us here at Minute Maid Park on Tuesday, October 16th, as we celebrate Milo and his 27 seasons of broadcasting Astros baseball. There'll be a cocktail reception, entertainment and dinner, and your sponsorship at this event benefits the Astros in Action Foundation. Reserve your table today at astros.com/community. And maybe you too, if you come out, can get a kiss from Milo.
Oh, Patty. Well, it all stems back to spring training with Patty and JD's dad.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal in the 80-plus demographic.
You got a solid following there.
Yes. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Castro, Dominguez, and Martinez. Jason Castro hit a fly ball to center in the 2nd inning. This game is scoreless and fun to watch. It's fun because Bud is pitching more like Arroyo today than we normally see him, with the change of speeds. And Arroyo he's just mastering a lot of different facets of pitching, changing speeds and location, different looks. But Castro's not biting, and it's 2-0 to Jason.
And this is where, as a hitter, you got to tell yourself to be patient, because typically you get 2-0 in a game like this. Well, I'm going to get a fastball here. And I'm not saying he wouldn't throw him one, but you cannot sit on one, because he's going to just drop that breaking ball in there like that.
2-1. Guy's pretty amazing. Inside, and it's a 3-ball 1-strike count to Castro.
Jason's out there now taking a couple practice swings, clearing his head, thinking, okay, he didn't challenge me 2-0. Will he challenge me here 3-1?
Royal's been facing the Astros since his rookie year of 2000 when he was a Pirate. Strike makes it 3-2. First time he faced the Astros here in August 2000. He gave up a 2-run homer to Moises Alou.
They went to the Red Sox in a waiver deal, I think.
You're right. In 03.
Pirates probably wishing they had hung on to him.
There's a drive to right center field. Looks like extra bases for Castro. It bounces high off the wall, stays in play. He's going to go around second and hold it there. A double for Castro, leading off the home fifth.
I had a good swing last time up. He had a high changeup, I think, last time. Maybe it was a fastball. Didn't quite center it up. This time he gets an off-speed pitch on 3-1, and that's that patient approach we're talking about. You can't sell out on a fastball, or you're going to be fooled by this pitch. Stay back, stay on the ball, and then put a good swing on it. And he went down and did exactly that on a pretty good pitch. And don't forget to touch the base just in case you do decide to head to third.
14th double for Castro. Both the Astros hits have been two baggers. Matt Dominguez struck out in the second inning. Matt's from Chatsworth, California. Went to Chatsworth High School. Bouncer up the middle. Here's a play at third for Arroyo, and the tag by Frazier gets him.
What a play.
So for the second time, the Astros get a runner thrown out at third. Earlier, Bogusevic tried to steal, and on this one, Tony DeFrancesco is coming out.
Wow. Just a great play by Arroyo. It's a tough read for the base runner on a ball chopped over the mound like that. You're trying to get to third base. You're assuming there's going to be an outplay at first. And Arroyo just makes an incredible play, a play most guys wouldn't try. Especially without, if there's a force in order, sure. But he takes a look at Castro and says, if I make a good throw, I'm going to get him. And he did just that. As a base runner out there at second, you're taught if the ball's hit in front of you, stay put. If it's hit behind you, you go. And obviously, if it's hit right back to the mound and it's going to be a ground ball to the pitcher, you stay put. But a ball chopped high like that, you think it's going to get over the mound or you got a chance to advance. But both times the Astros have had a runner thrown out at third. You can't really question the base running. Bogusevic trying to steal and then Castro trying to break on that one. Just great plays by the Reds. First Hannigan and now Arroyo.
Strike. Martinez fouling it. He lined to shortstop in the second. Yeah, good solid thought process behind that decision. That ball was in the air a long time to Arroyo and took a good play to get him at third. What a big play for the Reds again. They play well in the field. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Fernando Martinez. Reds are 8-3 against the Astros this season. They are 6-2 here in this ballpark. It's 2 balls and a strike. Mets lead at Miami 5-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Young started that game. Jason Bay hit his 7th homer. Came off Mark Burley. It's 3 balls and a strike now.
They've been last couple innings. He's been working very hard at trying to get that 2-seam fastball that he starts at the left-handed hitter to run back to the inside corner. Hannigan held that one there a good long while for Rob Drake, but Drake wasn't about to change his mind. Fernando hit the ball in the screws last time up.
This time he takes a walk. First and second, 1 out now. That's the first walk for Arroyo. And it'll be Tyler Green. Green grounded out in the 3rd inning. Hannigan talks with Arroyo.
Nice job there by Fernando, a very aggressive hitter who doesn't walk much, but after his at bat and then watching this game unfold, having a sense of what Arroyo tries to do out there, he too showed some nice patience.
Tyler Green trying to give the Astros the lead. Steps up with the runner at second, Dominguez, and Martinez running at first base. Texas leads 7-2 at Cleveland after 7, and Jurickson Profar has hit his first major league homer. Playing second base today, batting ninth. Josh Hamilton added number 37. Adrian Beltre number 27. David Murphy number 13 for the hard-hitting Rangers. Shot into left field. Dave Clark going to stop him at third, and the bases are loaded. Dominguez coming to third saw the stop sign from Dave Clark, and its bases loaded, one out on the hit by Green.
Paul had a ways to go to get to that ball. He does have the reputation of having a very good throwing arm. And Dave Clark didn't want to risk it. 2 outs, he probably sends them. The tough play there is you got to make up your mind a little bit earlier with that throw coming from left field right behind the third baseman. That throw's coming from right or center. The third base coach can come down the line a little further before he makes that call. But if you take Dominguez too far past the bag, they're going to have a play on him going back to third base.
Bogusevic doubled to left in the third inning. Bud Norris on deck with 1 out, and the bases loaded. Ryan looks at ball 1. He got a look at a lot of pitches when Arroyo faced him back in the third. 0 for 4 with the bases loaded this season. That grand slam was the game winner last year, that walk-off grand slam that beat the Cubs when he was a pinch hitter. He looks at ball 2. 2-0 to Bogey with Dominguez the runner at third. Behind him it's Martinez at second, and Tyler Green who's single to left at first.
Arroyo will not give in here in this sequence. I mean, he's going to still continue to make his pitch throughout this confrontation regardless of the count. He cannot afford to let Bogusevic jerk one out of the ballpark with the bases loaded.
He throws a strike. That makes it 2-1.
This is a changeup, I believe, floating across the top of the strike zone. You see a little tumbling action there at 83 miles an hour.
Washington 1, St. Louis nothing. They played 5 in our nation's capital, and Kurt Suzuki's homer has provided the run. Ground ball second. There's Phillips down on a knee, juggling, flip to second base. And that's all they get as the Astros take a 1-0 lead. Phillips did not make the clean pickup, even though he dropped down on a knee to make sure. But then got the out at second on Green, and Bogusevic gets his 25th RBI.
All right, what a break for the Astros after the Reds have made a couple of sparkling plays in the field. Brandon Phillips, the Gold Glover, lets him down. That ball had plenty of pace. Would have been a fairly easy double play ball if he gets it cleanly. But alas, he does not, and he has to settle for the out at second, and the Astros have the lead. Last night it was his replacement, Valdez.
Well, they're not dancing around like they were when Valdez muffed one, but the Astros still very happy at that development, and now Bud Norris is the batter.
These Reds need second base practice.
Now Arroyo is going to be visited by Hannigan, with Norris having grounded out in the third, his first time up.
So it goes as a fielder's choice for Bogey, and he gets credited with an RBI.
Now that was a tough one last night for Dusty Baker when his second sacker Phillips got tossed. Valdez normally very sure-handed at second base, coming in to replace him, but that error cost him the game. Bouncer third, Frazier across to Cairo, and the Astros get a run on 2 hits. They leave a couple. They lead it after 5, 1-0.
Of the game, we've got Logan and Landon Pennington, and it is Landon's birthday. Landon, how old are you today? 5, and I know Landon is a big, huge Astro fan. And Dad, tell us a little bit about why you bring him out here and what a big fan he is.
Well, you know, this is actually the first game that he's really going to remember. He's been a huge Altuve fan, real pure. I mean, the essence of baseball, this guy owns it. Very pure, loves the sport. And during a time when we're going through, you know, the rebuild and everything that we have right now, I mean, he makes me watch just about every single game. So it's good to have that kind of passion, and, you know, he gets me to believe in him and what we have in the future.
Yeah, and he's going to grow up with these guys, but I know it's a struggle for you to get out of the house because you've got a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old as well that wanted to come.
You know, I do. He's got 2 younger brothers. It was definitely a fight getting out of the house. But one of them has a birthday coming up, so we're going to make sure we do something really special for him, too. But today is his day.
All right, Landon, I know your brothers and your mom is at home, and you said you're going to say hi to your mom. Go ahead.
Hi, Mom.
Tell you love her.
Hi.
Yeah.
All right, Landon is our progressive fan of the game. Here you go, and happy birthday. Hi, Mom.
All right, Landon. This is ruled an error.
Second one on the afternoon for Tyler Green. Little bobble there as he drifted out behind home plate or second base. I'm having a tougher day than he is.
Yeah, just a little bobble. That's all it takes. And Cozart has reached. With Stubbs coming up next. He's 0 for 2. There's ball 1 to Stubbs. Stubbs is grounded out to short and fouled out to the second baseman. Drawing a throw. Cozart is 4 for 4 in steals. Red's a tough team to keep down.
Stubbs a pretty good bunter too. Thinking about bunting for a hit. He's a candidate.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Imagine a lot of right-handed hitters when they come into this ballpark. They don't want to give up an opportunity to take a swing at those fences. Left field in particular. Anybody with any kind of power, right-handed hitter is going to try to exploit that. Short porch into the Crawford boxes.
We mentioned Jurickson Profar hitting his first major league homer today for the Rangers. And he's the first Ranger player to homer in his first major league at bat. 2 balls and a strike. He's a teenager. Boy, the young players in the game this year have been impactful.
Well, he was the guy everybody was trying to pry away from the Rangers at the trade deadline, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
And they said, nope, untouchable.
Good call. Apparently Roy Oswalt is going back in the rotation. We were hearing from some of the Reds traveling party, JD, that the Reds have found out from next year's schedule that they will be coming back to Houston. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Golf courses of Houston, be ready. Here comes Chris and Marty and company.
Yeah, so instead of a potential nostalgic last visit for a long time, it won't be for them, and they're happy. 3-2. Next weekend, we turn the tables, and the Astros are in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. And the Astros have that series with the Phillies coming up when they get back home from that road trip. That'll be the only one that's not a divisional series for them the remainder of the way. They'll be at Cincinnati next weekend to wrap up the season series with the Reds. That's a liner to center field and in for a hit in front of Bogusevic. And the Reds have runners at first and second, nobody out. AT&T Uverse brings you a reverse replay. We take a look back at Bud Norris.
That's just the second base hit Bud has allowed today. Paul got him for a single to right field back in the second. Other than that, he's really been in command of his stuff and this ball game. Fastball slider combination has been spot on. And when he's made a mistake, he's been able to get away with it. An elevated slider got Bruce. Good slider there down and in to beat Paul. So really the first time today he has been in any pressure at all. It comes with first and second. Nobody out here in the 6th. Paul stole second base back in the second, but he was there with 2 outs. Cairo lined out to finish that inning. And he was the only guy to reach scoring position prior to Cozart here in the 6th.
Brandon Phillips has popped to third and grounded to short. Phillips drove in 92 runs last year. He looks at ball 1.
Dangerous situation now for Bud with the heart of the order getting their third look at him. Fox Tracks is brought to you by TxDOT. Drink, drive, go to jail, stay safe. Folks, this weekend, a lot of people on the road.
Fouled away, and it's 1-1. Milwaukee leads Pittsburgh in Milwaukee 8-4 after 3. Several home runs in that game include Ryan Braun's 37th of the year.
Bruce has been playing really good ball lately.
Yeah.
If there's a team out there that could have a miracle run in them, maybe the Brewers. I mean, they've got a ways to go. Be akin to what the Cardinals did last year.
They won 8 of 10 now. Line drive center again. This one also a hit. And it's bases loaded, nobody out with Phillips singling. And Jay Bruce will be the batter.
A good approach there by Phillips. Not over swinging, just good solid line drive single.
Bruce has hit a deep drive to right, and he struck out.
Bud needs to pull a rabbit out of his hat here.
Now the Brewers are trying to sweep the Pirates this weekend. The Astros headed for Pittsburgh after this game, have a day game tomorrow against the lefty Locke, and then they get Wandy Rodriguez Tuesday night. Valdez warming up for Houston. He just arrived as a September call-up yesterday. That's rip foul. Strike one to Bruce. Chris Young and the Mets knocked off Miami 5-1 as Jose Valdez warms up there. Mark Burley was the loser. Jason Bay hit a homer, his 7th. Tonight the big game is the White Sox at Detroit. Chris Sale 15-5, 2.81 ERA versus Justin Verlander 12-7, 2.80 ERA.
With the Tigers having an opportunity to pull even with the White Sox.
Yeah. Detroit at home trying to sweep. Just one game behind front running Chicago. That should be a dandy tonight.
We can watch that one on the plane on our way to Pittsburgh, Brownie.
That's a must. It's a must see. Doug Brocail hoping that Bud Norris can get an atom ball right here, or a strikeout, a pop up, anything to prevent that runner from scoring from third. Cozart. Foul back. Well, this is where you usually say, partner, the triple play is in order.
Triple play is in order. Hard to envision it with Bruce up there hitting from the left side.
Yeah,
let's see, it's a line drive somewhere and the base runners don't freeze.
That could work. Bruce has struck out 125 times this year.
Yeah, we'll go for the punch out and then double play to get out of this mess.
Frazier's on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillies and the Braves have a late afternoon start in Atlanta. That's Cole Hamels and Paul Maholm. Phillies are another resurgent team lately. They've won 7 of their last 10. Yep. 2-2 now to Bruce.
Fell off those last 2 fastballs a little bit and had him float high and away. A guy like Bruce is so dangerous. You prefer to attack early. The longer he stays in the count, the more dangerous he becomes.
Now it's in the dirt for ball 3. And a full count to Bruce with the bases loaded, nobody out.
That was a big pitch there. Bruce's ability to recognize and lay off that changeup really changes the whole equation here. Does it force Bud into challenging him with a fastball? I think his go-to pitch for the most part in this situation is slider, trying to throw down and in.
And he strikes out Bruce.
It was the slider. Backed up on him a little bit, but he got him. Good pitch. Money pitch right here under pressure.
Strikeout number 6.
Second time he's gotten Bruce. Frazier has punched out both of his previous at-bats.
Xavier Paul's on deck.
Now we need the one hopper to short.
Yeah. It goes to third. Dominguez to second. Altuve to first. Power double play. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Strikeout and around the horn double play. Great job by Altuve reaching out toward the outfield and then making a strong throw to first. 1-0 Houston.
Park as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And hey, Astro fans, Chevy is proud to present Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Bill?
Patty, how did the fans react down there where you are when they saw that double play ball?
Oh, well, I am back up here in the press box, but overlooking my section 20, whatever it is, 3 down here, they were going crazy. And I got to tell you, Bart and Art gave each other knuckles and high fives, which isn't even allowed in the press box, but they were pretty fired up about it.
They were quiet.
What a turn by Altuve. Brandon Phillips all but tackled him on that play, and Altuve still managed to turn the double play.
Now Altuve leads it off in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's grounded out twice in this game. 1-0 Astros. Each club with 3 hits. The Astros had 2 errors.
Yeah, nice turn by Altuve under pressure. Good start of the play by Dominguez. He has to hurry. Throw pulls Altuve back a little bit. He has the bag to protect him somewhat, but Phillips comes in late and high, and Altuve still with a turn.
1-1. So defensively, there's a difference at second base in this game. Phillips failed to start that double play on a would-be double play ball the last inning. Foul away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And what a job by Bud Norris. My goodness, bases loaded, nobody out to get out of that without giving up a run. That probably happens less than 11.6% of the time.
Oh, he chased one upstairs and struck out.
He's been in a funk here lately at the plate. Again, that's not a good pitch. A good result for Arroyo.
These guys are getting away with bad sliders, JD.
Yeah. You know, if you throw it above the happy zone, if it stays up about chest high, I mean, that one was way up. It was just a really bad pitch and a bad swing by Altuve. But there's that little baby slider up. That chest high, you get a lot of swings and misses at that pitch.
Jimmy Paredes is 0 for 2. Phillips going over to Cairo, 2 down. 71 pitches for Arroyo so far.
And still action in the Astros bullpen. So that may be it for Norris. That blister may be becoming a bit of an issue. And after working out of that jam in the 6th, maybe Tony D is going to say, all right, bud, you did your job tonight. Let's shut her down. Yeah, looks like he's done.
1-0 here, Astros, bottom of the 6th. 1-0 in Washington, bottom of the 6th. Steven Strasburg pitching a shutout against St. Louis and Jake Westbrook.
Westbrook pitching well today. The last couple of times out, he had not thrown the ball well for the Cardinals. Cardinals bats have been really quiet lately, except for yesterday. He scored 10 yesterday to win 10-9 over the Nationals. They've had a number of low-run games lately.
The Cardinals have given up 19 runs in the first 2 games of the series, and they're 1-1. No balls, 2 strikes. So Strasburg said to somebody that he could be making 2 or 3 more starts, and that's it. Now 2-0 Washington. They're batting in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That big guy's got a 2-hitter going.
High to center field. Stubbs backing. In the 6th, it's 1-2-3 for Arroyo. It's 1-0 Houston through 6. fly, bases loaded, nobody out. Bud Norris up against it, leading 1-0. Struck out Jay Bruce. And he got a double play ball here. Frazier hitting it to Dominguez, and then a hard slide by Phillips into Altuve. But he turns the 5-4-3 double play. Keep the Astros in the lead 1-0.
And obviously focusing on the turn by Altuve, but a nice play by Dominguez there to get things started. We talked so much about, first guy sure, second guy quick. Well, in that instance, both guys had to be quick, and Dominguez got rid of that ball in a hurry and gave Altuve a good feed to work with on the backside of the bag.
Norris out after his third straight quality start, leading 1-0. That ERA at home before the game, 2.09. Having been lowered, he comes out with the blister. Jordan Schaefer moves in to play center field. And it's Brian Bogusevic moving to right field. Jimmy Paredes coming out of the game. Jose Valdez at AAA Oklahoma City had 21 saves with a 4.95 ERA. Had some arm problems mid-season, had to be shut down for a while. He's had 59 strikeouts. He was with the Astros for 12 games last year with an ERA of 9. Xavier Paul the batter. The infield shift is on, and it's ball 1.
So this puts the pitcher spot in the 2-hole, but more importantly, it's an upgrade defensively in a 1-0 ball game. Paredes is just learning the outfield. He's had some struggles out there, so he tightened things up defensively.
Strike for Valdez, makes it 1-1.
Well, Valdez will sit there at 93-94 with his fastball, and split fingers, a good pitch for him.
Swing and a miss there at a split. That makes it 1-2 to Xavier Paul. Bud Norris in 6 innings, allowing 3 hits, no runs, with 1 walk, struck out 6 through 79 pitches. Miguel Cairo's on deck. It's 2-2. Valdez signed with the Yankees in 2000. They're almost as close as this game.
What happened? I had my head down. I missed something.
We'll go back to it. Foul back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh. I've heard of a rally hat. That's a rally hug.
They'll come back for blanket night.
That happens to fans when when the team you cheer for is having a year like the Astros. You got to pull together, hang on tight. 1-0 game in the 7th. We're going to get through this, honey.
Valdez was picked up as a minor league free agent after the 2009 season by the Astros. He's from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Poke through the left side. That's wide open. And a single for Paul. As the infield was overshifted, that's the way the Astros have been playing him. And he's 2 for 3.
And the pitch was a fastball out away from him. There wasn't a whole lot he could do with it other than poking on the ground in that direction.
Ball stole second back in the 2nd inning.
And it used to be the clubs would shift primarily for big left-handed sluggers because you wanted that slugger to take the approach. Well, I'll just if they give it to me and I'll punch it the other way. You're okay with that because you didn't want him to hit it into the 2nd deck. Paul doesn't have that kind of power, but the Astros obviously have spray charts that say, I don't care if he's a power hitter or not. He hits the ball. If he hits it on the ground, it's almost always to the right side. That's why they were shifting. But the downside there is with his speed, he could turn that single into a double with a stolen base.
That's what he did in the 2nd inning. And he's 4 for 5 in steals. Strike to Valdez. Cairo, who's 0 for 2, is down in the count 0-1. Mark Berry is the third base coach. Veteran coaching staff here for Dusty Baker. Billy Hatcher at first. There's Spire on the bench. Jacoby, the hitting coach. Brian Price, the pitching coach. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reds have been quite a road team. They're 39 and 29 away from Great American Ballpark. There's Chris Spire, the bench coach. He was an outstanding major league shortstop
for a good long while.
He was. He had, what, about a 15-year career. Castro knocks it down. It's 2 balls and a strike and prevents the advance, and that could be big.
Wouldn't be surprised now to see Dusty Baker put a little play on here with this combination of Cairo and Paul. A little run and hit.
That was Hector Ambriz in the Astros bullpen, a bullpen which has undergone major changes since earlier this year. A bullpen with 8 wins, 28 losses, and a 4.77 ERA. Runner starts. There's a fly ball, and Bogusevic is in right field. 1 out. So Cairo couldn't get it on the ground, and now Hannigan will bat. Hannigan grounded out, and he hit a fly ball to right.
So now you think about the straight steal. The hit and run didn't work. Valdez is not particularly quick to home plate. One thing that may give Dusty a little pause is the throw that Castro made on Paul back in the second. He was safe as the ball got away from Altuve, but Castro got off a very good throw.
Castro's thrown out 16% this season coming into this game. That's a strike to Hannigan. The Oklahoma City Redhawks did not have Valdez last night. They had a 3-1 lead going to the 9th inning, lost that game, but they are still alive for a playoff spot. They're playing tonight. They are 1.5 games out with 2 games to go. We're still not sure who tomorrow's starter is for the Astros. He's headed this way. He's probably here by now. It could be Dallas Keuchel, who was in this spot in the rotation that comes around again tomorrow. He had been sent to Oklahoma City, but now rosters can be expanded, so he could come back and pitch. Could be another lefty, Brad Oberholzer. 40-man roster is now full. Tap foul, no balls, 2 strikes. So we have a little mystery going.
And that may be why there hasn't been an announcement, because it may be that there's going to be a release to open up a spot on the 40-man roster if it's somebody who wasn't previously on that roster.
Good point. Boy, there have been so many moves this year. If you can keep up with all these player moves the Astros have made, you are the best fan out there. It has been a dizzying array of moves.
You probably need to get another hobby. My goodness.
Little chop, third base side, goes foul.
Jeff Luhnow's probably having a hard time keeping up with all the moves, and he's the guy that's making them.
It's been crazy. Brandon Laird is in uniform today, wearing number 13. Astros just picked him up. He's an infielder who can play third and first or the corner outfield spots as well, but he was subject of a question to Tony DeFrancesco from the media before the game. Well, how do you plan to use him? He said, well, he's been home for about 10 days not playing, so we're going to need a few days to get him ready to go. Maybe about the middle of the week he will be in game condition. Managing the bullpen, that's always a challenge in a game like this. That's hit to right field. It backs up Bogusevic toward the corner. He's there for the catch. 2 down.
Fairly well struck by Hannigan, but it dies out there in the glove of Bogusevic, and that's going to end the day for Bronson Arroyo. Another outstanding start for Arroyo against the Astros. But he's on the wrong end of this decision right now.
6 innings of 3-hit 1-run baseball for Arroyo, walking 1, fanning 2, and throwing just about 75 pitches. It's Henry Rodriguez pinch hitting for him, and he's been one of the September call-ups for Dusty Baker. Rodriguez is making his major league debut. He was at Pensacola and Louisville, and as you see, 22 years old from Maracay, Venezuela. He hit .284 at those 2 stops, 5 homers, 35 runs batted in. He was a Southern League All-Star at Pensacola. Was promoted July 4th to Louisville. Had a good spring, hitting .350 in spring training. Doug Brocail out to talk.
He's got the scouting report. Not sure how much intelligence they have on a guy like Rodriguez, but whatever it is, he was out there passing it on to Valdez.
Rodriguez signed as a free agent in '07. Jose Arredondo in the bullpen will be next in the game for Dusty Baker.
Dusty, I might have been tempted to send Arroyo up there, try to steal second base with Paul, and if you were successful, then hit for him.
Strike 1 to Rodriguez. Rodriguez last year was at Bakersfield and Carolina, and he had a total of 30 stolen bases at those 2 stops. Good on base averages. Swung over the top of that one. September baseball gives the managers well-stocked rosters for a lot of these extra moves.
Yeah, but you talk about slow games. You get into September, there could be some real slow games with all the extra arms available to the managers in the bullpen.
Well, there's the old saying, you give a manager players and he'll use them. So a lot of clubs are up to 30, 32 players maybe on the roster in September. 5, 7 extra guys maybe. Foul back. 1-2. And there's really not a need to put an injured player in September on the disabled list if he's not on it already. Just get an extra player. So if a guy gets hurt and you think he might be out for less than 15 days, there's no problem, as there might be putting him on the 15-day DL another time of the year. Foul back.
Yeah, I still think it might be worth exploring for baseball to put a rule in that says the club has to designate X number of players who are available on that day, as opposed to the whole roster. So that the game is played in September as closely as possible to the way it's played for the first 5 months of the year. Doesn't matter much. They do that in hockey, though, right?
I believe you're right.
A list of guys that are available. Some guys won't dress out on a given night.
That's it. Swing and a miss, and here's Castro throwing to first to complete the strikeout on Rodriguez. No runs a hit and a man left. It's 1-0 Houston. God bless America. Coming up next from Minute Maid Park. It's 1-0 here. The Astros lead it. Brian Bogusevic has the RBI. He bounced into a force play in the 5th inning as Matt Dominguez scored the only run of this game so far. Now Jose Arredondo comes in to pitch for Dusty Baker's club. 28-year-old right-hander from the Dominican.
Arredondo, like Valdez, leans heavily on a split finger pitch. How big his hands are. He dwarfs that baseball.
He's pitched well against the Astros. 4 appearances, no runs allowed this year. Jason Castro looks at it. It's ball 1 to Jason, who doubled in the 5th inning. And he was thrown out at third trying to advance on a high chopper to Bronson Arroyo. Arredondo 5-2 with a 2.72 ERA.
Reds bullpen about as good as they get. They've been outstanding this year. And obviously the guys at the end, Marshall, Broxton, Chapman, very talented trio.
Steven Strasburg is out of the game for Washington. Washington leading St. Louis 2-0 after 7 now. Strasburg gave up 2 hits and struck out 9 in 6 innings. And he threw 97 pitches.
Tell that guy he can't pitch. Sorry, we're going to shut you down. It looks like you're fatiguing. Punching out 9 every 6 innings, throwing 98 miles an hour.
Well, you read all kinds of anonymous quotes. And there was one from supposedly one of Strasburg's teammates saying they should have just started his season in May.
Yeah, well, the problem was they had no idea they were going to be this good.
3-2.
Cardinals just scored 2 in the 7th to tie that ball game.
And Dominguez on deck. Martinez due up third in the inning. Castro draws a walk. Starting pitchers for tomorrow are brought to you by Chevron. It'll be a day game. And the guy who was at Indianapolis, left-handed pitcher Jeff Locke, he made some September appearances last year for the Pirates. Is coming up with a 10-5 Indianapolis record, a 2.48 ERA there. Astros are still to be announced for their starter. He was on his way toward Houston earlier today, we were told. Don't know who he is. Tune in tomorrow, find out.
Ooh, it's intrigue, it's mystery.
Dominguez shows bunt. There's a hard throw to first by Arredondo. See what time that game is tomorrow, JD. 12:35 Houston time, so that'll be noon for Kevin Eschenfelder and Astros Live.
Yeah, Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, everybody. We spend every holiday in Pittsburgh during the baseball season.
Seems that way, doesn't it? Now the third baseman Frazier, after Dominguez advertised bunt, is in tight. And showing it early here as the fake goes over. Tuesday night it'll be Jordan Lyles and Wandy Rodriguez. 5:30 for Astros Live Tuesday, and Wednesday night Fernando Abad faces Kevin Correa.
Correa back in the rotation in Pittsburgh. They released Eric Bedard recently.
That's bunted and it goes foul. Now Locke, who's going tomorrow, is taking Bedard's place in the rotation. That'll be most interesting. The Astros with these games here with first place Cincinnati. Then they go to Pittsburgh, play another contending club, which is a game and a half behind St. Louis for second, and then back to Cincinnati for another first place series. It's an interesting stretch. Tony DeFrancesco's club playing some of the best talent around.
Those are fun games to play, especially on the road, because you're playing in cities where people are kind of alive with baseball fever.
Pittsburgh should be hopping.
Hopping mad today. They're getting hammered by the Brewers 11-4. And Giovanni Gallardo is coming off an outstanding month of August. He's in position to win his 6th straight.
Dominguez strikes out. 1-0.
The AB he was hoping for there after failing to get the bunt down fairly. Just a weak pass at that split finger pitch for a punch out.
Fernando Martinez flying to short, and he walked, so he's really done well, even though he's 0 for 1 with that walk. He worked the count to 2-2, hit a hard liner caught by the shortstop Cozart, and a good at bat in the 2nd, and then he was patient in the 5th. Tyler Green's on deck. Jordan Schaefer is in the 9th spot in the order now, pitcher in the number 2 position. High to center field. Stubbs racing back, going way back up on Taos Hill. At the wall, it's off the wall. Up on Taos Hill. Here comes Castro around 3rd. He'll score easily to make it 2-0. Stop sign at 3rd for Martinez. RBI triple Martinez. His first triple of the year.
Boy, what a day he's having at the plate. Brownie talked about it. The line out and then the walk. This time he just jumps on that first fastball he sees. He thought he got enough of it to hit it out of the ballpark, but straightaway center field in this yard. Tough to get it out. That's fun there, off the wall and rolling up the hill. And any little misplay there by Stubbs, and Martinez might circle the bases.
Yes.
That was his plan. Rounded 3rd and then saw the stop sign from Dave Clark.
That's Tyler Green with the infield in. He's 1 for 2. Hit the ball between 3rd and short for a 5th inning single. First triple of Martinez's career, in fact.
Does he have some legitimate pop or what?
Oh. Yeah, to the big part of the field, too. Now, we've seen him hit balls to center, left center, right center. High drives like that, plenty of bat speed. He's an intriguing player. And one of the guys the Astros want to see a lot more of here in September. The Astros with 3 extra base hits of their 4 hits in the game. Ooh, thinking maybe squeeze.
Wow.
There's a throw, and they got him. Yes, they got him. They smelled out a possible squeeze, but it wasn't a squeeze. However, Martinez got caught off, and Hannigan makes another big throw to 3rd.
I'm not sure what was going on, to tell you the truth, because why would you be coming that hard down the line initially if there wasn't a squeeze on? I think Fernando sniffed out the pitch out, slammed on the brakes, and tried to scramble back. I mean, there's no excuse to taking that aggressive of a secondary lead in that situation unless a squeeze was on. And look to me that I think, looking at that replay, there was the squeeze was on, and he sniffed it out when he saw the pitch out and just tried to scramble back. And Tyler, in that situation, you got to be willing to throw your bat at the ball, no matter what, and even with a pitch out.
Prevent that from happening. That's swing and a miss there, and a 2-2 count.
You see what Tyler does. Yeah, he's starting to it's just too far out. There's nothing he could really do.
Good call by the Reds. A pitch out on that squeeze play, apparently.
And and that's why you hear fans from time to time say, well, they should just squeeze. It's easy. Well, it looks easy when it's executed properly and when the other team doesn't pitch out. But it's such a high risk play if it's defended. If there's a pitch out or the hitter doesn't get the bunt down or a pitcher throws a neck high fastball.
That's ripped to left field. Tyler Green will get one. He bangs it off that wall above the Landry's Crawford boxes. That's number 9 for Tyler Green.
Sweet redemption for Tyler Green. A couple errors earlier in the game. And this swing of the bat erasing the pickoff of Martinez. One better than none. We talked about Tyler in the pregame the other day. Now he doesn't walk much. He strikes out a lot. Doesn't have a hit for high average, but kind of like Kozar. Play some shortstop, give you that kind of power. Pretty good player.
That makes it 3-0. That's his second home run of this homestand. He hit one in the third inning Thursday night off Ryan Vogelsong of the Giants. A 3-0 lead, and the crowd's buzzing with Bogusevic batting. Bogey doubled in the third inning. He got the RBI in the fifth, bouncing into a force play. One and two there for Arredondo. And more working room for the Astros bullpen. The Reds have the top of the order due up in the eighth. Cozart, Stubbs, and Phillips. And the tap goes foul. Cardinals with those 2 runs in the seventh, JD mentioned, have tied Washington 2-2. The Nationals now batting in the bottom of the seventh inning. Lance Lynn pitching in relief. Sean Burnett gave up the tying runs, and they came on a 2-run homer by Daniel Descalso. Swing and a miss ends the Astros seventh, but they come up with 2 runs on 2 hits. There's the long ball. That was a triple by Martinez, and then Tyler Green hit one out to make it 3-0 Houston.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai's Summer Drive Sales Event now through September 3rd. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. Well, the Astros have a bit of a margin for a change tonight. 3-0 as we go to the top of the eighth. Let's see if that can continue. Let's go back to Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Thank you, Greg. Hector Ambrose, with no wins or losses, an ERA of 3.38, has been in 5 games. He's worked 5 1/3 innings. Walking 3, fanning 9. He worked a hitless inning last night. Very impressive in the 8th inning. 1-2-3 fashion with a couple of punch outs, JD.
So he's going to get a chance here to take on an expanded role, pitching late, protecting a lead in a tight game with his good work since joining the Astros. Fastball, slider, curveball, and change up, but mostly fastball, breaking ball.
Cozart is 0 for 2 with a walk. There is strike 1. Well, we've been speculating about who perhaps could be the Astros starting pitcher tomorrow. It might be Edgar Gonzalez. He pitched in the last turn of the rotation, which would make it tomorrow would be his day to start.
And there was some speculation about him coming up a while ago when the Astros were talking about a 6-man rotation.
He's not on the 40-man roster, but that move could be made. Somebody else could be moved off that roster before tomorrow, but the Astros not tipping their hand on that one so far. 1-2. 17,291 the attendance. Jose Valdez in one inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs with no walks, 1 strikeout. Good job after Bud Norris went the first 6, giving up 3 hits, no runs. So the Astros really pitching well against this Cincinnati club. Last night and again today. The Reds got 9 runs Friday night.
17,291 out here on Phil Silver's bobblehead day.
Phil Silvers.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that reference in a while.
Wait till you see that bobblehead they gave out today.
Haven't seen it yet.
It looks like Phil Silvers. The old comedic act.
He was funny.
Oh, he was a riot.
One
Sergeant
funny
Bilko.
Man. Yeah.
There it is. There's Phil Silvers.
Oh.
See? Look like Phil.
What's with the neck?
I don't know.
Okay.
Could even be Phil Donahue.
Could be Phil. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stubbs on deck. Phillips due up third here in the 8th. And he started and checked his swing. Joe West on the appeal. It's 3-2.
Well, Cozart's got legitimate power, but you don't want to walk him. You got a 3-run lead here, so situation calls for an aggressive pitch from Hector. Just make sure you throw a strike. That doesn't necessarily mean throw him a fastball over the heart of the plate, but whatever, throw a strike.
Got it in on him and got a pop up. Tyler Green. 1 out. Cozart couldn't get that one on the barrel. Now Drew Stubbs.
And Bud Norris. Just 5 outs now away from his first win in a good long while, and well deserved. Pitched very well last time out against the Giants. Outstanding effort here this afternoon.
Stubbs singled in the 6th inning. That's when the Reds loaded the bases with nobody out. And Norris did some outstanding work, striking out Bruce, getting the double play ball on Frazier. So Bud, if he does win this game today, would be 4-1 at home. His home ERA probably goes below 2 with this game today. It was 2.09 beforehand. Terrific work in this ballpark. 2 balls, no strikes. Tony DeFrancesco has talked with his relievers and told them we're going to try some different combinations here. So that puts Ambrose in this 8th inning setup spot. It's 3-0. Now Xavier Cedeno is getting loose.
A possible confrontation with Jay Bruce.
Logan Andrusek's warming up for the Reds. It's in for a strike, and it's 3-1. Hector Ambrose. Brandon Phillips on deck.
Cubs and Giants going back and forth today. They're 5-5 now after 6 in Chicago. Good heater.
Boy.
Ooh, my.
Ball 4.
Looks like Stubbs is getting ready to go back in the other direction, too.
Yes.
What's the body language of Drew Stubbs as he takes his fastball? I'm not so sure. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Not telling me to go the other way.
He's a threat to run, but the Reds are down by 3. Brandon Phillips is 1 for 3. Stubbs 28 steals in 34 tries. Xavier Paul stole back in the 2nd inning. The Reds for the season have 13 steals and 17 tries against the Astros. Now Washington has broken the tie with 2 in the bottom of the 7th and leads St. Louis 4-2 after 7. Strike one to Phillips.
This game really turned on a couple of plays. One, the double play that Phillips couldn't make as he bobbled the ground ball that Bogusevic hit to him. Would have been an inning-ending double play. And the Astros scored a run, and then bases loaded, nobody out. Norris gets a strikeout, and then a big double play. Great turn by Altuve. The Astros don't score that run. Dusty Baker probably doesn't hit for Arroyo. Maybe scoreless still.
0-2 to Phillips. Yankees are batting in the bottom of the ninth, trailing Baltimore 8-3. Alex Rodriguez may be back in their lineup tomorrow. Baltimore's taking a run at New York. That would be a 2-game lead for the Yankees if Baltimore finishes out the win. Buck Showalter's enjoying himself in New York this weekend. 1-2. It's a wild one in Milwaukee, 11-8. The Brewers lead the Pirates, top of the 6th inning.
Brewer pen can give that up.
Gallardo hit a homer. Oakland got 2 in the first and leads Boston 2-0 after 1. Seth Smith hit his 13th home run. That's blocked the ball too. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of those Oakland A's players are former Red Sox players. They are enjoying what's going on this weekend in Oakland. Josh Reddick, one of them.
They scored 20 runs the other night against the Red Sox.
They did. That was a game Aaron Cook started. Some of these September games can get pretty ugly. Runner going. Swinging a bouncer right behind him into right field. Stubbs will get to third easily on the ground ball single by Phillips. And the Reds have runners at first and third with 1 out for Bruce.
And that'll bring Tony DeFrancesco out of the Astros dugout to make a pitching change. Altuve vacating his position to cover second, giving Phillips an entire hole to work with. And he just guides it through there for an easy single.
Embry's leaving after 1/3 of an inning. And it'll be Cedeno against Bruce when we come back with the score. Houston 3, Cincinnati 0.
At Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Pitcher number 4 of the day for Tony DeFrancesco is Xavier Cedeno. In 31 games, he has no decisions. His ERA is 4.37. He came in last night and struck out the only man he faced.
Well, he's in a bit of a tough situation here. We've got runners on first and third, 1 out, and Jay Bruce striding up to home plate, representing the tying run. Bruce, although his batting average suffers significantly against left-handers, his power numbers are pretty good. He's hit 10 home runs against lefties this year, has a slugging average better than .450 against them.
Well, Cedeno struck him out last night, leading off the 9th inning, with Houston ahead 2-1. Or at that point, the game was tied 1-1. High drive. This will get out, and it's a 3-run homer for Jay Bruce to tie this game here in the 8th inning. Number 29 for Bruce.
And here, a smattering of boos mixed in with a lot of Bruces from Jay's family and friends that are here from the Beaumont area. Back behind the Reds dugout, enjoying that swing of the bat. Boy, that guy's inflicted a lot of damage against the Astros, and here at Minute Maid Park,
there they are.
Wasted no time. First pitch breaking ball from Cedeno. Up out over the plate. Once he dropped the head of that bat on it, there was no doubt where it was going to end up. Second deck.
It's his 6th long ball against the Astros this season.
And that is a major hang with him for Bud Norris.
That's a strike for Frazier. Bruce has hit homers off lefties Fernando Abad. That was Friday night. Wesley Wright. There's another one off Abad. So this is his 4th home run against an Astro lefty this year. He's also connected off Francisco Rodriguez and Lucas Harrell. Fernando Rodriguez and Lucas Harrell. So he has really picked on the Houston pitching staff for a lot of damage. And it's a tie ball game now.
Yeah, and now you've got another dangerous hitter up there, and he's now has the platoon advantage with the lefty Cedeno on the mound, and there's nobody up in the bullpen.
Frazier takes it for a ball. It's 1-2 to Frazier. Well, Bruce now with 29 homers, 87 runs batted in.
Well, there is Wilton. Currently not throwing.
That's lined up the right field line and foul. Reds have hit 15 homers against Astros pitching in 12 games. The Dusty Baker's club has scored 65 runs in 12 games against the Astros.
Two of those 3 runs charged to Hector Ambrose. He had allowed the walk to Stubbs, the base hit to Phillips.
Pitches a ball, and it's 2-2. Astros bullpen with 22 saves has 18 blown saves, and now number 19 coming here in this inning. Seven times this year the Astros have had the lead after 7, and the game has gotten away. They'll get a chance to regroup. With Schaefer due to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. That's wrapped into left center field. Frazier now has hit in 6 in a row. 4 straight Reds have reached here in the 8th. Goes back to that close ball 4 call on Stubbs. Reds have rallied after that. Now Castro and Cedeno talk it over. Now Paul's going to leave for pinch hitter. Looks like Chris Heisey. Paul was 2 for 3 in the game. Dusty Baker gets a right-handed bat up there in Heisey. Heisey with a .284 average has 6 homers. He's driven in 29. Tony DeFrancesco is going to want a right-hander to face him. And he's also bringing Brandon Barnes off the bench. Barnes headed for right field. Brian Bogusevic made the last out in the 7th inning. He's coming out of the game to put the pitcher in that spot in the order. Well, we'll see about that. Anyway, Barnes is going into right field. And here comes Wilton Lopez with the score 3-3. Back in a moment. In the lineup, and the pitcher now will be flip-flopped and batting 8th as Wilton Lopez becomes that pitcher. He's 6-3 with a 2.38 ERA.
Heisey, the right-handed bat, comes off the bench. DeFrancesco counters with the right-handed throwing Wilton Lopez.
Ball 1 to Heisey.
Reds executed a hit and run play earlier in this inning with Stubbs on first and Phillips getting the base hit.
.284 for Heisey, who is 2 for 5 with 2 runs batted in this series. That was in a Friday night start. Chops that one over Mark Berry's head, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count. Heisey's been surging in his last 10 games, hitting .444, 12 for 27 with 2 homers. Hector Ambrose in 1/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Heisey takes it for ball 2. Heisey's on a 4-game hitting streak currently and has a career pinch hit average of .329. 24 for 73, 6 homers, 21 runs batted in. Gets one high to left field. And Martinez looks up. It caroms off the wall, kicks back to Schaefer. Here's the run scoring as the throw is high and backed up by Lopez. It's now 4-3 with the Reds grabbing the lead on that carom shot off the left field wall by Heisey. A pinch RBI double for Heisey, giving the Reds the upper hand by 1. And a 4-run 8th. Only one out.
Yeah, walk and then 4 consecutive hits, single home run, single, and now this double that just misses flying out of here. Looks like Fernando was caught in between trying to go to the wall and make a play on the ball or backing off and playing the carom, and he put himself into a tough position to do either. Didn't go to the wall and try to go up and get it, and he was too close to have a real shot at handling that carom off the scoreboard.
It's 8 hits for the Reds now. They lead it by 1 with Cairo batting. He's 0 for 3.
First replay, at first glance at it, looked like had he gone to the wall, he might have had a shot.
This is to left center field. And that's in the gap. 5-3 Reds. RBI double by Cairo. His 13th run batted in, double number 6 for Cairo. 6 straight Reds have reached base after the leadoff man was retired.
And 2-seamer stayed up on Wilton, and Cairo put a good swing on it. Man, what an ambush.
Ooh, yeah. Reds have been very quiet through 7. Held to 4 hits. They squandered a bases loaded, nobody out opportunity in the 6th, but now they have really put some at bats together. Doug Brocail visiting Wilton. Lopez worked in last night's game 2/3 of an inning, allowing no hits, no runs, got the win. Now Fernando Rodriguez is warming up. Xavier Cedeno did not retire a batter. He gave up 2 hits and 2 runs with no walks, no strikeouts. Hannigan is the 8th Red to bat here in the 8th inning. He's 0 for 3. Pitcher spot due up next. Deoner Navarro is in the on deck circle, getting ready to pinch hit for Arredondo. Out to left center field again. Schaefer sprinting for it. Martinez is there. Martinez has the catch. 2 outs. So Navarro, the switch hitting catcher, is going to be announced as the hitter for Arredondo. Arredondo in 1 inning, 2 hits and 2 runs with a walk and a strikeout, and he now could be the winning pitcher.
Ooh, what a vulture.
Yeah. Navarro 273, 6 for 22, has a couple of homers. He's driven in 5. Navarro was at Louisville much of the year, hitting .319 there in 62 games. He was a midseason All-Star in the International League. He got the starting assignment here Friday night and had 2 hits and 4 at bats. Navarro fouls it for strike 1. Arredondo struck out 2 in his 1 inning.
These Reds hitters, like many hitters in the league, when they face Lopez, up there swinging early. He's always around the plate. And 2 doubles, a fly out on 6 pitches. After Lopez first came into the ball game. Normally that approach serves him well, gets a lot of early contact, and when he's got good sink, he gets weak ground balls.
Navarro is 28. Came up with the Yankees and he moved along to the Dodgers, Tampa Bay. It's 2 balls and a strike.
On a buzz about Navarro when he was a younger guy. I thought he was really going to be a frontline starting catcher in the big leagues.
Wonder what happened, JD.
I don't know.
Had 1 really good year for the Tampa Bay Rays in 08. 295 average. Played a lot. He was in the World Series that year. And Has not been able to repeat numbers like that ever since. 3 balls and a strike.
Typically when you see that, it's a case of a guy who has some holes that were never exposed in the minor leagues, and the big league pitchers got a hold of him and were able to attack his weaknesses, and he wasn't able to make the adjustments to combat that.
All right.
Now it's 3-2. Big home run by Jay Bruce here in the 8th inning, tied this game 3-3 after the Reds had been shut out through 7 1/3. And a Heisey pinch RBI double gave the Reds the lead, and a Cairo RBI double put them up by 2. That's in the air and giving chase. Here's Dominguez over by the Reds dugout, snagging that one. The Reds bat around and score 5 in the 8th inning on 5 consecutive hits to grab a 5-3 lead.
NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, the Redskins take on the Saints, or Michael Vick leads the Eagles against the Browns. Then in America's Game of the Week, the 49ers battle the Packers. Coverage begins Sunday, September 9th with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. Check local listings for the games in your area. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Chris Heisey stays in the game after delivering that go-ahead RBI double to left field just a few minutes ago, and he's the left fielder now for the Reds, replacing Xavier Paul, and Jonathan Broxton comes in. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 5.
10 times he's pitched for Cincinnati this year after being acquired in a deal from Kansas City. And we first saw Broxton with the Dodgers, where he established himself as their closer for a time. Big, hard throwing right-hander. The velocity down a little bit from 2008, 2009, when he was regularly 97, 98 miles an hour. He's still a hard thrower. Fastball averaging a little above 94 miles an hour now, but the strikeout rate is down compared to those years. Had some injury problems.
Jordan Schaefer takes ball 1. Schaefer just returned. He's been in 97 games with a .216 average, 4 homers, 23 runs batted in. Was on the 15-day disabled list until yesterday. So he's batting for the first time since early August for the Astros. He was out with a left shoulder separation. Appeared in 5 games on a minor league rehab assignment. He had 15 at-bats in those games. 2 balls, no strikes to Schaefer. Schaefer looks at that one for a ball. Schaefer was a pinch runner last night, played center field. Altuve's on deck. That's a strike for Schaefer.
90-91. Well below what we remember from Broxton back in the day with the Dodgers. In 2009, he struck out 38% of the batters he faced.
Near the left field line, Heisey over for the catch.
And by comparison, this year he has struck out just 16% of the batters he has faced.
Okay. Broxton pitched twice here as a Dodger in June on back-to-back days, the 19th and 20th, and he saved Dodger wins both times, 2-0 and 2-1 with scoreless innings. Altuve is 0 for 3. Reds got Broxton in a trade July 12th for 2 prospects. Altuve looks at ball 1. But Jay Bruce now has hit 6 homers and driven in 16 runs against the Astros this year. He has 13 hits and 36 at bats. Before this game, his OPS against Houston for the year was 1430. Slider.
Yeah, these Houston area guys. He's from Beaumont. It's not too far away. Chris Young comes in here when the Diamondbacks are in town. Does a lot of damage.
Homer Bailey.
Homer was good. Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike. They can't wait to come to Minute Maid Park. Well, here and in Cincinnati, the Reds are 39 and 18 against the Astros the last 4 years. Scott Moore with a bat. Pitcher Spadu up next.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier this morning, getting ready for this trip to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. It wasn't that many years ago where you think, well, if we don't win, 4 out of 6 on this trip, that's a bad trip.
True.
They usually used to go in there and beat those clubs up.
Oh, yeah. You'd have that combination of Roy Oswalt and Lance Berkman in Cincinnati. And they both went nuts every time they played there, it seemed. Altuve strikes out.
Lance has been activated, right?
Yes.
He's going to use him primarily as a pinch hitter for a while. Fooled there by the slider from Broxton is Altuve, and he's 0 for 4 with a couple of punch outs.
Now Scott Moore is the pinch hitter, batting for Wilton Lopez. No, he's hitting for Barnes.
Yeah.
A couple double switches. The pitcher's in the number 8 spot in the order now. So 227. 7 homers, 21 runs batted in for Moore. With Brett Wallace on deck. Moore fouls it. There's strike 1 to Scott. Now you talk about Lance Berkman, and that's typical here in September. Lance may not be anywhere close to 100%, but Cardinals have the luxury of using him just to pinch hit, because of the ability to expand those rosters. Whereas if this had been in July or August or any time earlier than that, they'd probably take more time with him and make sure he could play a position before they activated him. 1-1.
Yeah, I could use him now to send him up there to pinch hit in an RBI situation, or to work a walk and then just pinch run for him. The crazy one in Milwaukee goes on. It's 12-8. Brewers over the Pirates. Jones, Sanchez, McHenry have all gone deep for Pittsburgh. weeks. Gallardo, Braun, Gomez, and Bianchi.
Oh yeah, he's new. They just called him up.
He had his second. My goodness. Oh, flying.
You bet it is. 2-2 to Moore.
Some ugly line scores for the pitchers in that one.
And Baltimore beat the Yankees 8-3 at Yankee Stadium. Wolf beat Hughes. It's the first time since 1976 the Orioles have won 3 series in New York in a single season.
How about the Wolfman?
Yeah.
Released. Finds new life with the Orioles. You should go out and get a nice plate of beef chow mein.
You might want to go for a steak.
That's kind of fun to, Steve Pearce here.
Yeah.
The Yankees claim him and goes from this situation to he's in cleanup in his first game with the Yankees.
Yes.
I mean, not that he's going to stay there, but kind of fun.
A-Rod could be back in the middle of that lineup tomorrow for the Yankees. So yeah, this is very exciting for Baltimore fans. It could be their first postseason game in 15 years. And they're only 2 games out of first. Just off the plate. It's a full count to Moore. Got Moore 1 for 4 in this series. He started at second last night, went 1 for 3 with Altuve getting a rest. By the way, Randy Wolf became the 50th different player to be used by the Orioles this year. The Reds used 33 through the end of August. That was the fewest in the big leagues. The Reds have not had a left-handed pitcher start a game for them this year.
Good man alive.
Yep. Still 3-2.
Well, they've had their 5 guys, and then they used in the doubleheader. They needed 1 other starter. Correct. That's it.
That's it. Deepest they've ever gone into a season. Needing more than 5.
Yeah. So, if not for the doubleheader, they would have gone through the whole season to this point with just 5 starters.
That's strike 3. Moore was headed for first base, but he got rung up to win the 8th inning, and the Reds lead it 5-3 moving to the 9th.
Now through September 3rd. 1 more day to take advantage of it. Labor Day itself. Do so. We're inside Minute Maid Park where the game took a decided Reds flavor in the 5th. It stays that way to the top of the 9th. Here's Bill Brown and Jim Deshane.
Thank you, Greg. 2-run margin for the Reds. Wilton Lopez out of the game after 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, with no walks, no strikeouts. Fernando Rodriguez in the game. Scott Moore goes in to play right field, taking over there for Brandon Barnes after pinch hitting for him. Fernando 1-9 with a 5.86 ERA. Has worked 55 in the 3rd innings.
Got to post to 0, and the Astros got to find a way to come back against Aroldis Chapman. The Cuban Missile Crisis is warming up in the Reds bullpen. He'll be on to try to finish it off in the 9th. First things first. Fernando's got to get 3 outs. Top of the order up here for the Reds.
Zach Cozart is 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch breaking ball, and it's strike 1. Fernando needed only 4 pitches to work a scoreless inning Friday night against the Reds. Foul ball there, makes it no balls, 2 strikes. The Astros have Wallace, Castro, and Dominguez due up in the bottom of the inning. Off his left foot. Fernando pitched twice in the San Francisco series before the Reds came in. He took the loss Thursday night. That breaking ball misses for ball 1. It's 1-2.
3 consecutive breaking pitches here for Fernando. See if he takes a shot with a high heater now.
Reds last night got a run in the first. They did not score for their final 8 innings, and then the first 7 today. And they broke the 15-inning scoreless streak by exploding for 5. That's out number 1.
Well, nice job here. 3 breaking balls and then a high heater to finish him off.
Drew Stubbs walked with 2 outs to start all the trouble in the 8th inning. 6 straight Reds went to the plate, starting with Stubbs, and 5 of them scored. There's strike 1. He singled in the 6th, so he's 1 for 3 without walk. Victor Ambrose went 2/3 of an inning. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
Wallace, Castro, Dominguez set to lead off the bottom of the 9th for the Astros. We'll see how Tony D plays it with a couple left-handed bats scheduled against Chapman. I suspect they will not bat.
Yeah. Struck him out. 2 in a row for Fernando Rodriguez.
He's not messing around today, boy. Very tardy.
Brandon Phillips with that hit and run single through the right side. Kept it going in the 8th inning and set it up for the Bruce 3-run homer. He's 2 for 4. And strike 1 to him. Kansas City leads Minnesota after 8, 6-4. No balls, 2 strikes. And that wild one at Miller Park. It's 12-8 Milwaukee over Pittsburgh. Bottom of the 7th inning. Oakland has a 5-0 3rd inning lead over Boston. Stephen Drew hit his 3rd home run. There's another of the Billy Bean acquisitions here in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Billy's on a roll.
He really is. Done some nice things this year with that Oakland club. 1-2.
Tampa Bay beat Toronto 9-4. The first 2 games of that series ended on plays at the plate. Final out of both games Friday and Saturday in 1-run games.
It's unusual.
Very.
Wow. Struck him out. Very impressive ninth inning. He struck out the side. And it's 5-3 Reds. Bottom of the ninth ahead. Wallace, Castro, Dominguez. Their closer, the Cuban Missile, Aroldis Chapman with a 2-run lead. He's 33 for 37 in saves with a 1.27 ERA. And look at the strikeout to walk numbers, JD.
Oh, yeah, it's the big kid in Little League, right? They're just scaring everybody and stealing your bike and beating you up, and nobody wants to face them. I don't want to hit, coach. Don't put me up there. I don't want to face this guy. Throws 105 miles an hour. Sorry, son.
Hopefully they've got a quick shutter. Capture what they're going to see from Aroldis Chapman. He's clocked up around 100 or above.
Last blown save came on June 24th. Since then, he has posted a 0.31 earned run average. That's 1 run allowed in 28 2/3 innings. He's converted 25 consecutive chances. That's a franchise record. Talked earlier last inning about Broxton and that strikeout rate he had back in 2009 with the Dodgers and how impressive it was at 38%. Well, this guy has struck out better than 46% of the batters he has faced. So he's closing in on half the batters he has faced this year. Just walking back to the dugout, dragging that bat. That's just otherworldly.
Red Wallace leads it off. He's 0 for 3. .98 miles per hour and strike one for Chapman. Chapman has not given up a run in his 5 appearances against the Astros this season. He has 4 saves. He closed out a 6-0 win in the other one. He's given up 3 hits in 5 innings.
A slider for good measure.
1-1. The Reds bullpen is averaging 9.97 strikeouts per 9 innings. And only one bullpen has averaged more for a season, the 2010 Braves. 1-2. They were at 10.06, just a shade higher.
Apparently he's going through a little bit of a dead arm period because he hasn't reached 100 in his last couple of appearances. He's having to live with that 98-mile-an-hour gas. Look out, Wally. You won a 99. Well, you know what, though, Wally will battle you. Just fight him off, work a walk. Do whatever you can.
Walk would be good. Matt Downs is on deck. Jason Castro due up next. And he's battling away 2-2. Chapman went to spring training trying to make the starting rotation for the Reds. Ryan Madsen, who was to have been the closer after signing as a free agent, was hurt. Nick Massett, their top setup man, was hurt both before opening day. So Chapman was moved back to the pen. Struck him out.
Went back to the slider there at 88 miles an hour. This time he kept it down. It's just a tough pitch. Tough situation there for Wally. Any left-handed hitter. Rod Crew would have a hard time. Put the ball in play against Aroldis Chapman.
Now Matt Downs is the pinch hitter for Jason Castro, who doubled and walked in 3 trips. Downs, a .213 hitter with 7 homers, 13 runs batted in, delivered a 2-out pinch double high off the left field wall last night, and came around to score the winning run on the error by Valdez. He just returned from AAA Oklahoma City. That's upstairs, ball 1 to Matt. He is an outstanding fastball hitter. Very successful last year as a pinch hitter. He's 0 for 5 with 4 punch outs against Chapman. And that's the problem. If you're Matt Downs, your manager wants you up there against a Chapman. So you're going to take those tough at bats. Leads the club in pinch hit plate appearances with 33. Rips that one foul. 2 balls and a strike.
Chapman not used to having his fastball turned on like that. No.
Well out in front. When Matt went to Oklahoma City, he hit .267. 2-2 now.
You're Downsy, you want to yell out at him. Is that all you got? Bring it on.
And Dominguez on deck. You know, Matt Downs weighs in with a .213 batting average. He's 15 for his last 45 at .333. Chapman gets a strikeout.
Changeup. Now he's turned it over a little bit. And that's why a lot of people think he could be a successful starting pitcher. You see all the numbers he's posted as a closer and how dynamic he can be, but he prefers to start. And you know, if you could get 200 innings out of him, it would be, for my money, well worth it. I'd rather have him doing that.
Matt Dominguez is 0 for 3.
That's going to be interesting next year to see what they do with Chapman, because he has been so successful in this role. Clearly the most dominant guy. And if he were to go into the rotation next year and struggle a little bit, how patient would they be before they move them back to the pen? To me, I think they would have to commit to it, give him, you know, at least 10 or 15 starts before they reversed course.
They signed him for 6 years and $30 million. 2 balls and a strike.
I've heard the theory put forth that, hey, look, you got a guy who's one of the best in the business at what he does. Why would you mess with that? And I get that. I just think he might ultimately have more value as a starter.
3-1. Well, some people have said they didn't spend that kind of money to have him be a reliever. In the air, and Todd Frazier comes in from third base. Chapman nails it down, and the Reds come from behind, roaring from that 3-0 deficit with a 5-run 8th inning. They had not scored for 16 innings, and then they exploded and they win the series 2-1. Dusty Baker's club now with 82 wins, grabbing this one by a final of 5-3.